Hello, I am Teacher Fino, and today we're going to talk about tag questions. Let's go. Remember that we have different types of questions. The yes-no questions, in which the answer is yes or no. Information questions, in which the answer gives you a specific piece of information. Tag questions. When we use tag questions, we want to confirm something that we already think it's true, or we want someone to agree with us. Tag questions are very commonly used to start small talk, a short conversation between you and somebody that you don't know very well, or somebody that you are just meeting. Remember that each tense in English has auxiliaries. We are going to review them before we start talking about tag questions. Okay, so as I promised, we have different tenses. Over here, we have the auxiliaries, the form of the verb, and finally, just for you to identify it in an easier way, we have some examples. So let's take a look. We have simple past, did or didn't. When you don't have an auxiliary, you use the verb in past. I watched 3 movies yesterday. I didn't finish my homework. For simple present with the verb to be, the auxiliary is the verb to be in simple present. So we just have some examples over here. I am happy, I am a teacher. For simple present, we have do or don't, does or doesn't if the subject is a third person, and the verb goes in base form. I love indie rock music. I don't like corridos. Then we have future with will. We have only two auxiliaries, will or want. The verb goes in base form. Some examples, I will travel to Canada next year. Then we have future with going to. The auxiliary is the verb to be. The verb goes in base form, and we have some examples. I am going to pass level 8. Then we have the past with the verb to be, and again, the auxiliary is the past of the verb to be. I was in the park. We weren't at home. Past and present continuous, the verb to be in present or past. Present if it is present continuous, in past if it is past continuous. The verb goes in ing or gerund, and we have an example. I am watching a movie. He was talking on the phone. Finally, for present perfect, the auxiliaries are have or haven't, has or hasn't. The verb is in past participle, and we have some examples over here. I have been to Europe 3 times. I haven't watched the last Avengers movie. The auxiliary that you use in the sentence has to be the same auxiliary that you use in the tag question. Also, if you have negative at the beginning, the tag question goes in affirmative. If it is the other way around, then you should have affirmative on the sentence and negative on the tag question. Okay, so let's practice with these sentences. The first one that we have is the teacher is 40 years old. First, we have to identify the auxiliary that we are using. In this case, the auxiliary is the verb to be. The teacher is 40 years old. Therefore, if I am using affirmative in the sentence and I am using the verb to be in present, I'm going to use the verb to be in present, but in negative. Isn't, and the teacher is similar to saying he. It's very important to keep in mind that in the tag question, we don't use names, we use pronouns. So, isn't he? For the second question, we have the teacher loves corridos. We have to identify the teacher loves. We already talked about this in another video. This is simple present, this is third person, and this is affirmative. Alright, so simple present. Auxiliaries do or does. Does if your subject is the third person. In this case, the subject is the teacher, similar to he. So in the tag question, you need to use the negative auxiliary. In this case, the auxiliary is doesn't. Doesn't. And your pronoun, he. The teacher loves corridos, doesn't he? Next sentence. The teacher had a YouTube channel. Now, very important here. Some people get confused because they think that because we are using had, the sentence is in past perfect. That is not 100% incorrect, but it isn't correct either. So you have to identify if you have a past participle. In this case, after had, we don't have a past participle. So this is a sentence in simple past. So the teacher had a YouTube channel. In this case, the first part of the sentence is in affirmative, so I need to use negatives. Comma, because the comma is very important. Didn't he? Very good. For the next example, we are not going to have vacation. We are using the verb to be, yes, but we are also using going to, future with going to. However, the auxiliary is going to be the verb to be. Now, in this case, let's read the sentence first. We are not going to have vacation. It doesn't matter if we are not using the contraction, the sentence is in negative. What we have to do is write the question using affirmative. In this case, affirmative are, and the subject is the same. We are not going to have vacation, are we? And just to finish, we have the teacher hasn't written a book. Similar to what I told you a couple of minutes ago, we have to look for the past participle of a verb. In this case, we have the teacher hasn't written. So written is a past participle. Therefore, this sentence is in present perfect. So the affirmative of hasn't, has, and my pronoun, he. The teacher hasn't written a book, has he? So there you go. Those are tag questions. Tag questions are easy, aren't they? Thank you very much. See you in another video.